KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Henrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Just hours ago, KREM 2 hosted a debate between 5th Congressional District candidates Carmela Conroy and Michael Baumgartner. The candidates answered questions in an hour-long debate covering several issues impacting voters across eastern Washington. KREM 2's Christian Garza was on hand for the debate tonight. He joins us live in the studio tonight with the recap. Christian?
Yeah, this debate comes less than a week out from Election Day, and it marked the 6th time that they've debated each other. Now, they outlined how they would work with local tribes, push to improve the federal response to wildfires, and broker a new farm bill. Overall, this was a civil debate, but their differences were clear on a few key issues.
That intimate decisions about who we marry, when we marry, whether to start a family, and with whom we start a family have to be left up to us as individuals. That's part of the freedom that we are guaranteed by our Constitution.
Abortion isn't mentioned in the Constitution, and as such, it's an issue for the states. So I don't plan on when I go to Congress of being particularly active in the abortion discussions, because that's better dealt with at the local and state level.
I think that it is disingenuous for my opponent to say that he just wouldn't vote if the issue came up before the Congress. He's never trained as a lawyer. He apparently hasn't read the part of the Constitution that says in the 9th Amendment and 10th Amendment that there are privacy rights, there are rights reserved to individuals that are not mentioned in the Constitution, and also that rights that are not, powers that are not given to the federal government or to the state government are reserved to the people themselves.
We need more support for young families, things like the child tax credit and health care support, so that people can make the decision that is right for them. But again, on this issue, and we get asked about it a lot, I don't think abortion is a federal issue. It's a state and local issue, and I think that's where these decisions will rest.
Quickly, in just 15 seconds, please tell us, if a national abortion ban bill came to Congress, how would you vote on it, Ms. Conroy?
I would vote against a national abortion ban.
And Mr. Baumgartner?
Yeah, I would also vote against a national abortion ban.
While both candidates agreed they would have certified the 2020 election results, they had very different views on election integrity and what the best course of action would be to make sure people across the state trust the voting process.
It's important that we restore that trust. What I would like to see be done, if it could be done, was to return to same-day voting. I think that brings a tremendous amount of civic pride to folks, and people would have more trust than the current process. One thing that we should all do right now is show ID to get to vote. If you have to show ID to get into Costco or show ID to get an airplane, well, what's the most important thing you do in society is show ID to vote.
The citizens of Washington State have decided that they want to be able to vote by mail, that everybody gets to vote by mail. And so for my opponent to suggest that somehow the system's so broken that we have to return to the expense and inconvenience of bringing people together to vote, and that in order to do so, they're going to have to get an identification of a particular type. This is voter suppression.
This was only a small portion of things that were discussed, and the candidates answered over a dozen questions. However, this was the final debate before Election Day on November 5th, but both candidates say they will be campaigning until the very end. Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you very much. And for the full debate, just head on over to KREM 2 Plus. We also have an elections guide special streaming right now on KREM 2 Plus. Myself and Whitney Ward take a deep dive into what's on your November ballot, including the candidates, initiatives, and propositions. KREM 2 Plus is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. For more information on the general election, you can also just text us the word elections to 509-448-2000, and we'll send a link right to your phone with all the information you need to know. And new tonight, the CDC has confirmed slivered onions are the likely source of an E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. And we are learning the investigation has extended into Washington state. At least 90 people have been sickened across 13 states. One person has died. One case has been reported here in Washington. The Food and Drug Administration says it's investigating a Taylor Farms processing center in Colorado and, quote, an onion grower of interest in Washington state. McDonald's said it has stopped sourcing onions from the company indefinitely. Well, police have arrested the so-called Belltown Hellcat driver again. They shared this video of officers taking Miles Hudson into custody in Seattle last night. This was in connection to a domestic violence warrant out of Renton. Hudson is accused of assault for a dispute with his mother. A judge issued a $50,000 arrest warrant because he did not appear in court. Hudson is well known for his alleged reckless driving through Seattle that's been posted on TikTok. And new tonight, the case involving the King County man accused of trying to light an explosive device on I-90 earlier this month is being moved to federal court. The case is now being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office. However, if federal authorities choose not to move forward, the case can be refiled locally. The man was arrested back on October 12th after a low-speed chase from Bellevue to Mercer Island. Officers say they found a second device in his car. All right, let's switch gears and take a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy DeGoo. Jeremy, thousands of trick-or-treaters, they're depending on you. Don't let them down, my friend.
Seriously, how you're going to toss to me for weather? Let's do it. I'm not letting any of these kids down. Halloween is the best holiday. I will argue that all the way through. 45 degrees is where we currently sit right now. And when it comes to trick-or-treating, I think our temperatures are actually about where they are now, maybe a couple of degrees cooler. We're hanging on to some heat this late at night due to some cloud cover overhead, and that cloud cover comes with a round of showers. I said it would get here around 10 o'clock. It is working its way in. It's already coming down across the Palouse, and all of that moisture moves in and takes over. But here's how this goes. Up above, say, 3,700 feet, it's coming down as snow, keeps coming down as snow through tomorrow morning over Lookout Pass, Sherman Pass, and even a little bit of 4th of July. But by tomorrow afternoon, we dry out. And kids, looks like we stay dry for trick-or-treating before our next round of rain arrives on Friday. So when you're heading out, you can leave the raincoat at home, but bundle up. I don't know if this is true, but candy probably helps keep you warm if you eat enough of it.
And fast enough, I suppose. Jeremy, thank you very much. Heading overseas now, dramatic video out of Spain where more than 70 people have died in flash floods. It is the deadliest flooding to hit Spain in 3 decades, with torrential rains battering cities in the eastern part of the country, leaving roads and communities underwater. One town was hit with a year's worth of rain in just 8 hours. Searchers are still working to find survivors and victims as rescuers use helicopters to lift people who are trapped in their homes.
What we are seeing is devastating. Entire villages are covered with mud. People seeking refuge on trees and cars swept away by the fury of the waters.
Spain has seen similar fall storms in recent years, but nothing compared to the devastation over the last 2 days. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Hundreds of ballots are still missing in Whitman County tonight. The county elections office is urging voters to be proactive, which means some people have to request a new ballot to make sure their vote counts. That's after a batch of blank ballots never made it into mailboxes.
Made it to the Spokane main processing facility plant. They were scanned in there. The post office is telling me that there was a 99.6% successful scan rate. So where are these ballots then?
Officials believe 200+ voters in the small town of Garfield will have to request a replacement ballot. Right now, state investigators are helping Whitman County track down those missing ballots. A bomb squad had to respond to the Spokane Valley Heritage Museum earlier today. A person was donating their father's World War II memorabilia to the museum, including some pictures and several artillery shells. As part of the procedure, the museum called the bomb squad to determine their safety before taking them in. 4 different agencies responded: the Fairchild Air Force Base Team, the Spokane Valley Bomb Squad, City of Spokane Bomb Squad, and Spokane Valley Fire.
And I sent a picture to one of the bomb squad members, and he said, "We're going to be right there." So I said, "Oh, okay." So
they closed down the museum and its parking lot for about an hour today. Of the bombs detonated, or donated rather, one was determined safe and one was undetermined and taken away. The Associated General Contractors of the Inland Northwest hosted a construction career day for local high school students this afternoon. As our region continues to grow, AGC says contractors want to introduce students early to a viable career path. From dozers to excavators, construction career days give students a chance to get out of the classroom and really get them hands-on experience.
It's super cool to be able to operate all these like millions of dollars of equipment in total for all this stuff, and it's cool to see it. And like most of the time, you have zero access to use machines, especially at our age.
AGC says that construction days get students connected with contractors now, so as they have connections once they graduate. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.